Hey guys, welcome back to Less Vintage Design. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having an amazing day. Today, I don't know if you can see my table, it's covered in items that are either going in my booth or going up on Etsy. Lots of great things. I did a video showing everything over on Facebook, which I will put a link to down below just so you can go check that out. And if you want to follow my Facebook page, you definitely can. You don't have to. But today, we're not talking about all this great goodness over here. We're actually talking about vintage mirrors and how you can incorporate them into your home and what they add. And so I'm really excited about vintage mirrors, so we're just going to jump into this video. Okay, so I kind of shifted the view just a little bit so I could actually show you some vintage mirrors. And the first one, before I do that though, let's talk about vintage mirrors, shapes, sizes, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Remember, they may not be perfect. The silver on the back of the mirror in places may be worn a little bit. The frame of the mirror may be showing some age, but that's what makes them so interesting. Can you have them refurbished? Can you have the frames redone? Can you have them resilvered? Of course you can. But personally, as someone that loves vintage, I like that worn look. I like a little bit of the missing silver because it tells a story. There are mirrors available from all decades. I mean, I've seen some from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. So you can find any type of mirror, any decade of mirror that you want. You just may have to search. Now let me show you some that I have and some of my favorites that I have had in the past. This mirror on the side of me right here is a vintage mirror. It is quite large. It is probably a 4 foot, a little over 4 foot by 2 foot mirror, maybe 3 foot. And it has a very cool fruit motif all the way around it. The frame is showing some wear, and if you wanted to have it worked on, you could. This is not in my house. This is something that I'll be taking to my booth. But I love this mirror. I think it just has so much character, and if you put it in a dining room, it would just tie that room together. Because as we all know, I mean, we've all seen the design shows, we've all read the magazines, mirrors open up your space. If you're in a small space, a small room, a mirror will make it look larger. Mirrors strategically placed around a home will bounce light around. Not only are you adding a beautiful decorative piece like this very large mirror, but you are adding width or length to a room as well as light. And a great conversation piece. Now, some other mirrors that I have that are actually in my home are these two. And these are the old home decor that people used to sell in their home in the 70s. I have an octagon shape and a rectangle. And these are actually hung on my gallery wall, which I'll put a picture beside me here. Mirrors are great for that. These are small. You can mix small mirrors together. They're perfect for that. If your gallery wall is not that large, I have a very large wall, and you don't want to put 2 mirrors on the same wall, that's fine. Put 1 mirror and then put the other mirror on a smaller wall where it won't look lost. These were both small, and I have very big blank walls in this house, so they went on the gallery wall together. But these are that home decor, home interiors from the 70s. Love these mirrors. Now, some other mirrors that I've had in the past that I totally love are the oval mirrors. These mirrors are perfect for, to me, putting in your bathroom. Something like this. I've had this mirror. And the decorative frame, even though maybe showing some wear, maybe not, depending on, your taste, would look beautiful in a bathroom over your sink. Take out those construction grade mirrors that are in homes from the 80s and 90s, the big flat ones with no edge on them. And instead of going to Home Goods or Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever and getting a mirror that looks like this, only it's plastic and it's not as good, get something vintage and real like this one. Would look so beautiful. Also over fireplaces. I've had beautiful vintage mirrors like this one that look gorgeous over a fireplace. These are larger mirrors. They're heavy, so you want to make sure you anchor them. And in with any mirror that you hang, you want to make sure it's hung properly because you don't want it crashing down and shattering. Nobody wants to break a mirror. But putting a mirror on a fireplace here we go. Listen close. You don't even have to have a built-in fireplace. We are going to talk vintage architecture coming up, and you can find beautiful old wood or plaster fireplace surrounds the shelf and the sides of without having to get the fireplace. Put that on a wall and put your vintage mirror over that. You're going to shock your friends because you're adding to your home items that maybe they haven't thought about adding. Things like vintage mirrors really make your space pop. Now, vintage mirrors, again, you can find that sometimes the silver has come off behind the mirror and the mirror reflectivity is not that great. Okay, you can do some small repairs yourself, or you can take it to get it repaired. Of course, getting a vintage mirror repaired, depending on the amount of repair needed, can be quite expensive. But everybody's different. Everybody has different budgets that they can work with. Now, I'm going to put my blog down below where I go into repairing vintage mirrors a little bit more than I'm going to touch on here. So guys, vintage mirrors, whether it's like any decade you want, you're going to be able to find one. These are some that I've had over the years, and they're gorgeous. They were gorgeous, just as they were. So next time you're getting ready to add something to your space, hey, it's 2026, right? New year, we're redoing our spaces. Maybe we're shedding the old us from 2025, and we're putting on a new us. Well, our surrounding decor should be updated too, right? Maybe a little. Anyway, guys, that is how vintage mirrors can add to your space. Let me know down below, do you have vintage mirrors in your home? Are you looking for a vintage mirror for a certain space? What are your thoughts? Thanks for being here today, guys. Take care. I'll see you next time. I hope everybody, if you were in Texas during the massive ice storm, I hope you stayed safe, and I hope everybody is staying warm.